All right, boys and girls. So we got a brand new video from Ryan Beard, which is called Disgraced Drama YouTuber Returns as a MAGA Grifter. And this MAGA Grifter is very familiar, guys, because we've been covering this quote with this now MAGA Grifter as because we've been covering this quote MAGA Grifter. Or he wasn't a MAGA Grifter by the time I was covering. He was actually very, very left. He was a very left-leaning person. He was a fan of leftovers. He was a huge fan of Hassan Piker. And then he became a MAGA after everything just crumbled to the floor. After he lost everything, he just returns and becomes a MAGA. Which, I think that's how every YouTuber, disgraced YouTuber, returns. They all, get exposed for shit and then they return as a fucking MAGA. So anyways, disgraced YouTuber returns as a MAGA grifter. Let's check it out. I've never checked out a Ryan Beard video. I actually don't really like this guy a lot. It's because I remember a couple years ago, Ryan Beard compared being called fat online as a fascist. But he basically compared being calling someone fat online like fascism or some shit. And that really and I remember, I think he lost the trans debate, or he lost some sort of debate to Destiny, and then he went on an apology tour and cried about it. So anyways, disgraced YouTuber becomes a MAGA. Check it out.
Hey, really quickly, I just want to mention that I have recently revamped my Patreon. I haven't really used Patreon in the last couple years, but I realized that if I want to be able to have the financial freedom to take on bigger or riskier artistic projects, it would be really good to ask for support on there. I wanted to make sure that by supporting me on Patreon, you're really benefiting from it. I know it's annoying when people ask you to support their Patreon and then you don't really get anything out of it. So I'm going to be releasing exclusive monthly videos.
Sorry, Ryan, but I'm not about to shit on your Patreon. But hey, shout out to you.
You're a moderately successful. Thank you so much. Has this ever happened to you? You're a moderately successful drama YouTuber who wants to start a comedy career, but your YouTube drama career ends up crashing and burning because you falsely accuse another YouTuber of being a pedophile.
Alright, I was testing some more shit. I'm so sorry. Alright, let's actually watch this video.
Thank you so much. Has this ever happened to you? You're a moderately successful drama YouTuber who wants to start a comedy career, but your YouTube drama...
Quote, by the way, he was never a comedian. Def Noodles, when it came to comedy, Def Noodles was very insecure when it comes to being a YouTuber. Or he felt very insecure and he felt like he needed something that in his name that is not a YouTuber or a drama YouTuber. So then he decided to decided to lean towards this comedy grift, which never really worked because A, he's not funny, and B, we've seen his stand-up before. His stand-up is shit. So, yeah.
Drama career ends up crashing and burning because you falsely accuse another YouTuber of being a pedophile.
Yep, that's basically what began Def Noodles' downfall. And I was there for it because it was my birthday, bro. What a great birthday present I have, by the way.
You say that you think Sneeko shouldn't be banned from YouTube even after he sexually harassed a woman, and then...
Sexually harassed a woman? Was it because he said some shit about Chad? Because that... I don't know if that was true, but I remember Nick is Not Green made a video about Sneeko saying that he should be deplatformed for sexual harassment or some shit, and basically all Sneeko did was just say weird shit, which by the way is not appropriate, but I don't think that warranted Sneeko to get fucked. Nowadays Sneeko is just saying the stupidest shit to get attention.
You lose a debate about trans people to the conservative tick.
Yes, this part also kind of screws over Def Noodles. Because Def Noodles would always make, social issues. He would make every social issue that he talks about look horrible. That's what happened with the B family. That's what started Def Noodles' downfall. Because it was really started because of the B family stuff. And then, he basically, and then he had that debate with Papa Gut, and then that's basically what crumbled everything.
TikToker Christian Walker, and then
Yeah, Def Noodles. Yeah.
Your comedy career crashes and burns because Moist Critical reacts to your absolutely terrible comedy roast, which ends up getting 4 million views. So now you've failed at both YouTube drama and comedy, and now you're the laughingstock of pretty much the entire internet. If all of
As he should be, by the way.
things have happened to you, then you are probably Def Noodles. And you know what? I can relate to Def Noodles. I have also failed at comedy before.
Then type your number out on the screen and put it up in the air.
I've
Jesus.
also lost a debate before, and I'm sure I've also had some dumb
Yeah, you've lost the destiny, I think.
takes at some point in my life. But the one thing I haven't
Yeah.
done is falsely accuse Papa Gut of being a pedophile. I have only accurately accused Papa Gut of being a pedophile.
Jesus.
That is a joke. Papa Gut is not a pedophile, as far as I know. The truth is, everyone makes mistakes in life. Everyone has failures. Things don't always turn out the way that you want them to. And I think that when you do fail in life, the best thing to do is take a step back, self-reflect, learn from your mistakes, and then return as a better person. Or you could say, fuck that, and return to YouTube as a right-wing MAGA grifter who makes absolutely dog shit videos that only
What are these Okay, now I actually need to check out these videos. Dwight from The Office destroys mainstream media, lies to their face. El Salvador to defend gang member and gets rejected. Okay. Democrats fly to El Salvador to defend a gang member and get rejected. AOC and Bernie exposed for private jet hypocrisy. What is happening in climate? Austin Metcalf's father swatted after press conference. Insane leftist defends violence against innocent people and gets destroyed, which is Taylor Lorenz. Carmelo Anthony buys $900,000 mansion. Okay. Jesus Christ.
they get a couple hundred views.
I don't even know. I don't even know any of these people that he's fucking talking. Maybe Bernie Sanders I know, but like everybody else can fuck off.
This is what Def Noodles used to look like. Look at how cute and non-threatening he looks with his little cat ears and his little fake glasses.
Yeah, very, and he was very left-leaning too.
Well, this is what Def Noodles looks like now.
He cut the hair.
He's not Soy Boy Def Noodles anymore. Now he's Alpha MAGA Def Noodles. He's got the MAGA hat and the red lighting and the American flag behind him. And
He's evolving, dude. What the fuck happened? How did you what changed in your life? What happened in life where you just magically turn into a grifter? Or not a grifter, a MAGA. People's political opinions change. I get that.
Eagle below him. He has abandoned his kitty cat ways and has accepted the path of the eagle. I guess if I ever want to become a right-wing grifter, I just need to change the color of the light behind me. Soy Boy Ryan, MAGA Ryan. Soy Boy Ryan, MAGA Ryan. I know a minute ago I called Def Noodles a right-wing grifter, but I feel like being a grifter kind of implies that you're making money from what you're doing, and
yeah, Def Noodles is not making shit.
right now his videos are only getting a couple hundred views each, so I would say that he's probably not even making enough money to be considered a grifter right now. I also think being a grifter implies that what you're doing isn't actually genuine, and I can't see inside of Def Noodles' noodle to know if what he's doing is genuine or not. But it does seem a bit suspicious to me that Def Noodles has gone from someone who preaches progressive values.
Yeah. Like, didn't he accuse Augie RFC and friends of being, like, alt-right, or not alt-right, but, like, being Nazis or whatnot because they criticized him for not being able to take criticism?
And has debates where he's defending trans people to being
who, by the way, sucks at it.
Full-on MAGA in just a couple years. I would say that I was kind of like a moderate conservative when I was like 14, but then over the course of about 10 years, I became a leftist. But it was a very gradual progression. You just don't usually see someone making this drastic of a change this quickly. In the first video that he posted on this updated MAGA channel, he says that he's been secretly
Trump 2024.
watching right-wing creators like Ben Shapiro for years now, but he was scared to tell anyone because he didn't want to get canceled.
Quietly, I began to consume more conservative media, listening to voices like Ben Shapiro, Rush Limbaugh, but I kept it to myself. Living in Los Angeles, I feared being
Why
outed
would you
as
say
someone who
this? Why would you say this? Like, even if you genuinely like turned right, like become a go from Democrat to Republican, I understand that, like, it's your opinion at the end of the day. But why the fuck would you like? I always hate this too. I hate it when people like make videos being like how I escaped the right or how I escaped the left videos. Like, these videos are insane, dude. Stop it. Nobody gives a shit.
lean conservative. It felt like a career killer for anyone in the acting or writing industry. Friends who noticed warned me that my career could be over if the word got out.
So I guess rather than calling him a right-wing grifter now, it might be more accurate to say that he used to be a left-wing grifter, but now he's finally being true to his MAGA self. So I would like to congratulate Def Noodles for finally coming out of the closet as a dumbass. But
he's gay, y'all. It's always them that were the gayest shits on planet Earth.
you know what? We don't want to approach Def Noodles in bad faith. Maybe
I want to. Fuck him. He sucks.
he is giving some really insightful commentary in this new MAGA persona. Let's check out one of his videos to find out. For whatever reason, Def Noodles seems to like to focus on certain celebrities and then make a bunch of videos about them. For example, he's made 10 different videos about Whoopi Goldberg.
Who's that?
I don't think I've ever met someone who cares enough about Whoopi Goldberg to make 10 different videos about her. To me, she just seems like your typical rich, out of touch
Oh, that's the news person. I don't really care.
liberal. But she seems to really upset Def Noodles for whatever reason. But what I wanted to focus on in
rage
this
bait.
video is that Def Noodles has made 7 different videos coming
Bill Burr.
after the comedian Bill Burr.
Who, by the way, Bill Burr, he used Bill Burr as an example to shit on, to, like, I guess, justify his shitty comedy. Like, Bill Burr was like a model to bro.
Claiming that Bill
Or like a role model to this guy.
Burr has
Not a role model, but this guy was his fucking idol. I don't fucking know. Some dumb shit.
gone woke. I've always considered myself a pretty big fan of Bill Burr. I've always enjoyed his comedy, but I would definitely not consider him like super left wing or anything. He always takes shots at people on both sides of the political aisle. He even recently made fun of white people on the left for caring so much about pronouns.
You know what's funny is white liberals are the ones that gave the definition of woke to whites on the right. So they don't, no white people really understand, it seems, what that word really meant when they took it from black people. So people on the right just think it means an insufferable, self-involved liberal douche. And they're not wrong if they're talking about a white person. Right. Running around crying about their pronouns is like the sun is like lighting the planet on fire.
I would consider
Oh, boy.
myself a bit of a pronoun enjoyer. I'd say I'd put pronouns right above adverbs on my favorite types of words tier list. I actually don't think that trans people usually freak out about pronouns as much as people claim they do. In
Only the unhinged ones do.
general, a trans person isn't going to get upset with you unless you're purposefully using the wrong pronouns. So I might like slightly disagree with Bill Burr on his take here, but I'm not going to freak out about it and make 7 different videos criticizing him.
Jesus fucking Christ.
And I do think he brings up a good point that white people love to steal terms from black people like woke and then make them incredibly lame. This might be a bit of a hot take, but my absolute least favorite form of white people comedy is when white people put on a black accent and try to mimic a black woman and then expect everyone to clap and laugh. Girl, when the child is T but the sis is finna bust it
Stop, bro. Please don't do that ever again, bro.
down. Stop. You are not funny.
Exactly. Thank you.
Way, I might disagree with Bill Burr on some of his opinions, but I'm not going to make like 7 different videos criticizing him because in general, I think we should be a bit more lenient with comedians than we would be with like political commentators, for example, because a lot of times jokes aren't meant to be taken super literally in the same way that like a political speech would. But because Bill Burr has recently started leaning slightly markedly more left, and he started making fun of billionaires more in his comedy, Def Noodles has decided to make 7 different videos accusing him of going woke.
As if
now,
he
my
was a
first
billionaire.
instinct when I saw this is that Mr. Noodles here might be a little bit jealous of Bill Burr, because when Def
because fucking Bill Burr is an actual comedian with actual good jokes and good stand-up, unlike fucking Dennis here, who sucks.
Noodles tried to do left-leaning comedy, he crashed and burned and became the laughingstock of the internet. But when Bill Burr makes left-leaning jokes in his comedy, people actually find it funny. So Dennis, instead of making all of these videos attacking Bill Burr, maybe it would be better to just try and take a step back and write some better jokes.
Welcome, folks. Today we're witnessing another Hollywood millionaire pretend to be a working class hero, Bill Burr, who caught everyone's attention this week after a bizarre meltdown on his podcast about billionaires, capitalism, and for some reason, the Gulf of America. Because nothing says
The Gulf of America, Jesus Christ.
man of the people like ranting about wealth inequality while sitting on a pile of cash from that little multi-billion-dollar company, you know, Netflix. Very working class, I'm sure.
So we're already off to a great start here. According to Def Noodles, Bill Burr can't possibly support working class people because he's made millions of dollars. Yet apparently Def Noodles thinks that Donald Trump can support working class people even though he's made billions of dollars. Maybe the fact that Trump has gone bankrupt so many times is why Def Noodles thinks that he can support working class people, because Trump knows what it feels like to lose a shit ton of money. So right off the bat, this is an incredibly
Fans going on, I fucking hate this.
stupid argument. Obviously, rich people are less likely to support working class people, but being rich doesn't automatically disqualify you from supporting working class people, which you would think Def Noodles agrees with as a Trump supporter.
This is so, the amount of people that are struggling out there because of these fucking billionaires, and they got us all arguing liberal and conservative. We got to stop doing that. Like, I am so tired of hearing about people going to bed worried about what's going to happen next week. There is so much fucking money in this country, and there's so much work being done, you know, and if you work a full fucking week at a job, you should be able to pay your fucking rent. You shouldn't have to go out and get another fucking job and still be struggling. It's bad for the country because then the kids don't see their parents and they're not getting the upbringing that they need. It's so fucking, these fucking billionaires, they need to be put down, you know, like fucking rabid dogs.
Oh, there
They're
it
like
is.
rabid with fucking greed and just going out and just dividing everybody.
Oh, look, big old Billy Burr is back at it again. This time auditioning for a job at the Communist Manifesto Live. He's foaming at the mouth about billionaires like a guy who just discovered Reddit's late-stage capitalism page.
Oh no, because Bill Burr thinks that working class people should be able to support their families while working a full-time job, he must be a communist. In the past in America, when people could afford to buy a house and live comfortably off of working one full-time job, America must have actually been a communist country. It turns out the Soviet Union actually won the Cold War and made everyone communist, and we just never knew about it. So I highly doubt that Bill Burr is actually a communist. He probably just thinks that we should properly tax billionaires, not that we should have a stateless, classless, moneyless society. But let's see if Def Noodles has an actual argument other than Red Scare bullshit.
Screaming about wealth inequality from the comfort of his multi-million-dollar mansion. You know, the real man of the people energy. But let's break this down because, as always, when Hollywood millionaires try to play economic experts, it's like watching a goldfish try to do calculus.
It's like watching goldfish try to do calculus. This is like a joke straight out of the 1950s. Trying to get my damn wife to remember to do the dishes is like trying to get a goldfish to do calculus.
Yeah, I see he still sucks at comedy.
Dennis, you have already proven just how much funnier you are than Bill Burr. Again, he says that Bill Burr can't possibly be a man of the people because he lives in a multi-million-dollar mansion while simultaneously supporting Trump, who literally coated his entire apartment in gold. You're gonna need to start thinking through the implications of your arguments a bit better here, Dennis.
First, we get the classic poor people suffer because billionaires exist argument. Love that one. It's like blaming bodybuilders for why you're out of shape. Oh, look at all those muscles they've hoarded. No wonder I can't run a mile.
Dennis, this has to be the stupidest analogy I've ever heard in my entire life. Bodybuilders don't actively work to keep fat people fat in the same way that billionaires work to keep poor people poor. Billionaires choose to pay their workers like shit, which is why they're poor. Bodybuilders don't choose to keep fat people fat. If there was a bodybuilder that was running around force-feeding fat people to keep them fat, then yeah, I would say he's a piece of shit in the same way that billionaires are.
Bill rants about people working full-time and still struggling to pay rent, which, yeah, sucks. But maybe, just maybe, the real villain isn't the guy running a business, but the government policy strangling the economy like a depressed anaconda.
Oh, the problem isn't billionaires. The problem is that there are too many regulations on businesses. If we just let businesses do whatever the fuck they want to do, then they'll finally pay their workers fairly. The data definitely shows that trickle-down economics has worked out great for Americans ever since Reagan was in office. Removing all government regulations on businesses is just going to make the problem worse, not better. If America is the richest country on earth, I don't think it's crazy to say that we should tax billionaires enough so that working class people can afford to buy a house or afford health care.
Then we get hit with the Marxist death wish portion of the rant, where Bill casually suggests billionaires should be put down like rabid dogs. Oh yes, the rational, level-headed take of a totally sane person like Hassan Piker. Imagine if
Hassan
Musk went on a podcast and said, you know who needs to be put down like a rabid dog? Broke people. There'd be congressional hearings before he finished his sentence. But when a millionaire Hollywood comedian suggests we exterminate successful people, it's just good old working class rage. Weird how that works.
Okay, so your perspective is that Elon Musk saying we should kill poor people would be the same as Bill Burr saying we should kill billionaires. The difference is that poor people are not fucking over billionaires in the same way that billionaires fuck over poor people.
No.
Also, there's a bit of a difference between Elon Musk and Bill Burr. One of them is currently an advisor to the government, and the
which is insane, by the way. Bro literally memed his way to the top.
The other one is a comedian. I agree with you, Dennis, that murder is bad. I think we should properly tax billionaires, not just go around slaughtering all of them. But a comedian making an edgy joke is not the same as someone in the government saying that we should exterminate poor people. It's just so funny to me that the same people who have been claiming for years that the left is trying to kill comedy
are the ones killing comedy themselves.
Now trying to kill comedy when the target of a comedian's edgy jokes is billionaires. I wish George Carlin were still alive so Def Noodles could make some videos about how he's also gone woke.
These fucking billionaires, they need to be put down, you know, like fucking rabid dogs.
Not watching the Super Bowl drones.
Oh, there
They're
it
like
is.
rabid with fucking greed and just going out and just dividing everybody.
But here's my favorite part. Bill whines that billionaires are dividing everybody. Really? The guy literally calling for mass extermination is worried about division? That's like Jeffrey Dahmer complaining about a bad dinner party.
That's like Jeffrey Dahmer complaining about a bad dinner party. That's like Jim Jones complaining about a bad batch of Kool-Aid. That's like Def Noodles complaining about a bad comedy show.
Dude. My god, Def Noodles. You need to fucking, like, quit comedy, bro. Like, don't even slightly make comedy in the fucking shit, dude. You're clearly not good at it.
I love these 1950s style zingers. Please keep making them, Dennis. So your argument is that comedians making edgy jokes about billionaires is what really divides people, not the billionaires themselves pumping billions of dollars into the media to keep people arguing about culture war bullshit. Billionaires treat the working class like shit, but then once people get mad at billionaires for treating the working class like shit, they're the ones who are actually causing the division. If we truly want unity in America, then the working class should all come together and collectively suck Jeff Bezos's cock. Maybe I agree with Dennis that Bill Burr's joke was slightly too edgy. Now I hope Dennis will also go and criticize every right-wing comedian who makes edgy jokes so that he can be morally
He won't.
consistent.
And
By the way, Katy Perry going to space is pretty lame.
let's not ignore the irony here. Bill is worth millions.
fan turned off, but it's going to turn back on in a minute.
He's one real estate deal away from being the guy he's telling you to hate. I guarantee you, if Netflix cut him $1 billion check tomorrow, the only thing he'd be putting down is his activist face. At the end of the day, this is just another Hollywood millionaire LARPing as a Che Guevara revolutionary. He's not mad at billionaires. He's mad he's not one. So, Bill, if you really want to redistribute wealth, go ahead, sell your mansion, drain your bank account, and live like the actual working class. Oh, wait, that's right. You won't, because ranting about billionaires is way easier than actually living without all that money.
If you truly believe that working class people deserve a livable wage for working a full-time job, then you should be poor.
Yeah, that makes no fucking sense.
I am very smart. So Dennis here is making an obvious straw man. Bill Burr does not believe that billionaires should redistribute all of their wealth. He just thinks that they should give away enough of their wealth so that working class people can live comfortably. And if these billionaires gave away enough of their wealth for working class people to live comfortably, they would still be multimillionaires just like Bill. Like, yeah, maybe Bill Burr could give more money to charity or something. I mean, I don't know how much money he does give to charity, but that won't fix the problem. What will fix the problem is properly taxing billionaires. It's so stupid when people say, you have a problem with the current system? Then you should give all your money to charity.
That literally fucked you over more.
Even though one multimillionaire giving their money to charity would obviously not fix the problem at all. Now, I don't think this lets rich people off the hook. I do think that rich people should live by their principles, and I think it's cringe when someone like Hassan, for example, flexes his expensive cars that he's bought with the money given to him by his working class audience.
And he would literally say, tax the rich too.
But it is incredibly stupid when someone makes a critique of the system for you to respond by saying that they should give all their money to charity when this obviously would not fix the system.
You know, just the fucking epitome of this time right now, like how divisive we are that, like, you know, the Gulf of Mexico is now called the Gulf of America, and people get excited. Like, how the fuck does that help your wallet? It's an empty gesture, and then it's also like a racist gesture. Like, that's the white guy that's him saying fuck Mexicans without saying it.
Oh, sure.
You know, like, who has a fucking problem with Mexicans? Like, what is the real problem? This is just such an ugly fucking time.
What a wuss.
Yeah, that just sucks. That sucks.
What a bitch.
What a bitch, bro. Hell yeah, bro. Not like Dennis, bro. The true, actual comedian.
You are so right. Bill Burr is such a wuss. You have
so right. Haha. That's comedy.
Never been a wuss. These cat ears are extremely alpha.
Bill Burr has reached the tinfoil hat conspiracy stage of his Hollywood meltdown. This time, he's screaming into his microphone about how renaming the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America is somehow both meaningless and a racist dog whistle. Because, you know, in Billy's world, nothing can ever just be stupid or performative. It has to be evil. Now, Bill starts off strong by calling the name change an empty gesture that doesn't help struggling Americans. And for a fleeting second, he's actually right. Then in record speed, he veers into schizophrenic rant mode and decides that it's not just pointless, but secretly a Klan rally in disguise. That's right. Somehow, changing the name of a body of water is actually code for white people saying, F Mexicans! You have to admire the creativity. Most people see an ocean.
I ain't even gonna respond to this shit, because whatever I say is gonna fucking, you know, fucking anger a whole group of people.
Bill sees a hate crime.
So you think it's a schizophrenic conspiracy theory that this name change could have possibly been an FU to Mexicans? If tomorrow Lake Michigan was changed to Lake Mexico, people in Michigan would probably not be too happy about that because that body of water has cultural significance to them. In the same way, the people of Mexico are obviously not going to be happy that you came in and changed the name of a body of water that has cultural significance to them. So no, I don't think it's a schizophrenic conspiracy theory that Donald Trump could be saying F you to Mexicans by changing this name. He's been saying F you to basically...
Yeah, he's basically saying fuck Mexicans since this first term
every single country in the entire world for the last month with his tariff bullshit.
Now let's get something straight. Who the hell was out there protesting the name Gulf of Mexico in the first place?
Let me guess, a lot of people. He's gonna show like clips of that. Watch. In Mexico specifically.
I miss the Justice for Marine Geography movement? Are Mexican fishermen being oppressed by American tide patterns? Of course not. But Bill and his Hollywood activist friends need racism to exist everywhere. Otherwise, they might have to talk about real world problems.
So, ignoring the fact that you're implying that racism isn't a real world problem, you think that Bill Burr hasn't been talking about real world problems? Earlier in this video, when he talked about working class people not being able to afford to pay their bills, you don't think that that's a real world problem? What do you think is a real world problem? The fact that you're banned on Twitter, which you whine about in the banner at the bottom of all of your videos?
Then, in a final stroke of brilliance, Bill declares that people are broke and that this is an
This whole like news thing is kind of lame though.
ugly time. Oh, you don't say. Then why are you foaming at the mouth about meaningless distractions while creating one in real time? Bill whines that the Gulf of Mexico name change is a waste of energy, then immediately spends the next few minutes on his podcast treating it like the single greatest moral crisis of our time. Why are people focused on this instead of real issues? Bill, you're the one talking about it. If it's such a stupid, pointless, empty gesture, why are you dedicating a full-scale meltdown to it?
What the fuck are you even talking about? A comedian complaining for 2 seconds about something dumb that Trump did is a full-scale meltdown, yet you making 7 different videos complaining about him
Complaining
isn't a full-scale meltdown? I can't even track this stupid logic.
This is like a guy setting his house on fire, then yelling at the fire department.
Oh my god, stop it with the gay comedy, dude. It's over, dude. You're not a comedian anymore.
For wasting time putting it out.
Yeah, I fucking I knew that shit was coming.
This is like someone setting their house on fire and then yelling at the fire department for wasting time putting it out. This is like Def Noodles falsely accusing someone of being a pedophile, then yelling at people when they criticize him for it.
If it's such a stupid, pointless, empty gesture, why are you dedicating a full-scale meltdown to it? Maybe, just maybe, because outrage pays your bills.
Oh, and outrage doesn't pay your bills? Well, I guess technically it doesn't because your
videos are shit, but if they could, you would daily upload.
Videos only get 700 views. You're complaining about
I get more views than Def Noodles on a daily basis.
Bill Burr complaining about something that doesn't matter while you've made multiple videos like Rachel Ziegler's cringeworthy meltdown, Disney's Snow White has TDS.
TDS? What the fuck does TDS mean? Oh my god, it says here, they dive into Rachel Zegler's reaching reaction to Donald Trump's victory, her controversy. Oh yeah, that shit's fucking lame.
Bill Burr defends Rachel Ziegler and woke Snow White.
Comedian Bill Burr unleashes his unhinged rant over her backlash to the Disney Snow White critiques while missing the point of the entirety in this takedown.
I guess in Def Noodles' mind, Trump changing the name of the Gulf of Mexico doesn't matter at all, but Snow White being woke does matter. Just a tip, Dennis, when you are criticizing all, but Snow White being woke does matter. Just a tip, Dennis, when you are criticizing someone, you need to take a second to think if those criticisms also apply to yourself or apply to Trump, the president who you apparently love now.
Bill gets to play both sides.
Yeah, the guy that you people voted for, by the way. I don't know why the fuck would you vote for that. Now I'm becoming political. Did I get too political? I'm sorry. I just wanted... I don't know.
Who care about this while still profiting from the controversy himself. He cashes in on the same culture war nonsense he pretends to be above. So congratulations, Bill. You've officially become the thing you claim to hate. Another overpaid entertainer making money off outrage while pretending to be one of the people. So in case you missed this, folks, Bill is quite literally part of the problem.
I missed everything.
He's a millionaire cosplaying as a working class hero, screeching about fake oppression while sitting on his multi-million-dollar Netflix couch. And you know he doesn't actually care, because if he did, he'd be ranting about the real reason people are broke. Biden's economic mismanagement, crushing taxes, and big government screw-ups.
Oh, the real problem is Biden's economic mismanagement, even though Biden did one of the best jobs at getting a country out of COVID compared to other countries. But let's just ignore Trump's batshit insane tariffs that instantly tanked the stock market. That is definitely not economic mismanagement. I think me and Bill Burr would probably both agree with you that Biden sucks and he didn't do enough to help working class Americans.
That part is true.
Because both me and Bill are not afraid to make fun of liberals. But you are afraid to make fun of conservatives like Trump.
Fuck Trump. Fuck liberals. Fuck Republicans. Fuck everybody in this fucking country, dude. I'm voting for these nuts.
Because for some reason you've decided that the best way to save your dead career is by sucking Trump and billionaire cock. I was gonna go through a couple of his other videos criticizing Bill Burr, but I think this video is already long.
I mean, to be fair, he did try sucking the other side's cock, but it failed him. He fucking destroyed that shit. So he decided to join the other side and do the same shit.
I just find all of this incredibly ironic because the right will never shut up about how the left hates comedy, but the second a comedian makes a joke that falls slightly outside of your conservative ideology, you freak the fuck out and you pick apart every word that they say and you try to act like their edgy jokes are meant to be taken completely seriously. It's almost like the right understands that people actually can be influenced by jokes. They just pretend like this isn't the case when right-wing comedians make jokes. I do think that comedy has the ability to spread genuinely bad ideas. And if you think that Bill Burr is spreading genuinely bad ideas by making edgy jokes about billionaires, then you are free to hold that perspective. But personally, I am not going to get all up in arms when a comedian makes an edgy joke about billionaires because billionaires clearly do fuck over the working class. At the end of the day, I don't even know how much of what Dennis is saying here is actually genuine. Maybe he really is being true to his real opinions, or maybe this is all just a disingenuous grift to make money, or maybe it's somewhere in the middle. I don't
To come back on the top.
know. But all I do know is that if he doesn't stop making all these corny 1950s ass jokes, then I don't think his channel will be growing anytime soon. Watching Def Noodles try to revive his career is like bringing a defibrillator to a cemetery. Watching Def Noodles make jokes is like watching a chicken try to play Beethoven. I wonder if the reason he calls himself Def Noodles is because his noodle has so much trouble listening.
Or he is just tone deaf. Or he deaf has noodles for brains. Okay. I'm sorry. Alright, that's all, folks. Wonderful video from Ryan Beard. I suggest you guys check it out. Link is probably in the description by the time you're watching the VOD. And if you're watching this live, shout out to you for sticking around.